And away we go. Tuesday edition of the show. All across America on SportsMap Radio. We're all over the world on the SportsMap Radio app. Anywhere you want to take us. It's great. And you can watch the show. Twitch, Jason Page 77. Twitter, The Back Page. It's where most people watch. On Twitter, at The Back Page, when our producers remember to retweet it. Thank you, Austin Rodriguez. No, last night Austin forgot to retweet it. So it's all right. It's all right. I gotta say, Austin, from when we started the show to where we are now, drastic improvement. Like if there was a MIP, most improved producer, you know, like how the NBA has the most improved award. Yeah, Austin would be it. Yeah, Austin has definitely gotten better from day one to where we are now. And I appreciate the effort he's made. Because it's saying at one time you sucked. Now you're passable. Can I at least get through the open of the show? I didn't even introduce you yet. People just hear your voice. They have no idea who you are because I have a different producer every friggin' night. And some nights I don't even know who it is. Last night was supposed to be Charles. I turn on the mic. It's Austin talking. Some nights it's supposed to be Charles. It's Justin. It's like, come on. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about me. My show, just no love. Just no love. Anywho, that is Brian McDonald. He is our producer, engineer extraordinaire, pushing all the buttons in Houston, Texas, at Master Control. And I am, of course, Jason Page, your humble host for the next 3 hours tonight. I will attempt to get through the show without a fit of rage. But it's damn near impossible when the Yankees are just so bad right now. I was just texting with somebody. They're unwatchable. They're unwatchable right now. See, I'm already starting to feel the, man. Whew. Can we turn the temperature down in this studio too? It feels like it's 1,000 degrees. I'm having hot flashes. Yankees are already down 2-0 to the Angels tonight. Let me tell you something. I was explaining this to one of our guests last night, Brian. Last night, I was so desperate to be able to watch the Yankees and Angels, which I get blacked out from, even though I live 2 hours from Los Angeles. Somehow I'm still in the Los Angeles viewing area. So I get blacked out watching the Yankees and Angels. Do you know what I had to do? I went and got a 7-day trial of Fubo TV. I did. I went and got a 7-day trial, which I'm not paying for Fubo, just so I can watch the Angels broadcast of the Yankees-Angels games for these 3 days. Do you know what kind of dedication that is? And why? And what do I get for it? I get Aaron Boone pitching to Shohei Ohtani, who's hitting everything out of the ballpark. And what does he, of course, do against Michael King? He hits it out of the ballpark. And then the Yankees lose an extra innings to the Angels. The good news is Josh Donaldson can't hurt this team anymore because he hurt himself. So, that's the good. At least there's some good news, right? Yeah. Well, he popped the calf. He didn't even know if he's going to make it back. Hopefully he never plays another game in pinstripes ever again. Not wishing for the guy's career to end. I'm wishing for his Yankee career to end, though. No, he will not. He will not have a number or a placard in Monument Park. No. Not unless they want to put one on the ground where dogs could take a dump on it. That's about it. See, yeah, I'm already bad. It's too early. It's too. My God. Oh no, I wasn't Volpe. That was Higashioka. Volpe's back to being Volpe. Strikes out every other at bat. Yankees are just unwatchable right now. I don't even know why I have the game on. It's going to put me in a bad mood for the next 3 hours. Bob Nightingale will be a guest on the show tonight. Senior MLB writer over at USA Today. We'll get some thoughts with him on the trade deadline, which is approaching. What does he make of the reports out that the Yankees could be in the market for? Volpe's at the plate hitting a great 208. 660 OPS. Yay. So we'll ask him about all the Ohtani stuff. Which of the contenders that we didn't think were going to be contenders could be in the mix? We'll get into all that. As far as the trade deadline is concerned, are teams like the Marlins and the Reds, the Orioles, are these teams going to be buyers? Oh, my God. Volpe missed that by 2 feet. I can't watch. I almost feel like I need to turn off the Yankee game while I do the show. It's that difficult for me to, like, I'm ADD as it is, and you put this in front of me, can't deal with it. Let me tell you how stressed I've been lately. You know what I did today? You ready for this, Brian? I had McDonald's today. I haven't been eating McDonald's for like 3 or 4 months. Yes, this was definitely a stress eating situation. Yes. I went to McDonald's today. You know what McDonald's has right now going? They've got a double quarter pounder with bacon and cheese and like nacho cheese and jalapenos. Oh my God. I normally don't get those kind of bougie McDonald's burgers. You never usually put bougie and McDonald's together. But this is about as bougie. This is about as bougie as McDonald's gets. No, this felt bougie to me. This felt bougie. So I had that today, and it was really good. And I actually felt good until I saw Mickey Moniak hit a 2-run home run off of Domingo Germán. No. I didn't finish, by the way. I didn't even finish. I can't tell you what I ordered. I'm totally into the gluttony today. I ordered the large meal of that double quarter pounder with bacon and jalapenos, right? I ordered the large meal with the large fry and the Diet Coke, and then to top it off, yes, I know. Bless my heart. Thank you, everybody on TV watching. And then I topped it off with a spicy McChicken just because I felt like it. I told you. I'm so stressed right now between the stuff going on with the TV projects my company's working on and the radio show, and I couldn't take it anymore. I said, I gotta have McDonald's. My husband had planned a wonderful meal tonight. We were going to have salmon with asparagus, and it was going to be great. And we were standing across, we were literally in the car across from McDonald's. I said, cancel everything. We're getting McDonald's tonight. That was it. The no, it'd be that or Wendy's. And sometimes Taco Bell. Oh, the Baconator? Yeah, the double Baconator, no ketchup at Wendy's is. But the problem is Wendy's here, you got to really drive out to get it. Yeah, no, it's about a 15 to 20 minute drive. Yeah, McDonald's is on every corner here, but Wendy's is not. Starbucks is everywhere here too, but Wendy's no. Yeah. But I went all out tonight. And I didn't feel any regret. I was definitely comfort food. It was definitely stress eating. It was definitely unhealthy. And I just don't care. Oh, my God. I can't eat while I'm on the air. That's no fun. Then people are going to hear me. Yeah, I've done that so many times in my career. It's not good. We used to call it the bag of death when I worked at SiriusXM. I've totally, by the way, we have totally blown through what was going to be an epic monologue tonight. We'll do the monologue in the second segment. Yeah, I blew through that. We used to call it the bag of death. Every night, so I worked overnights I used to work overnights Monday through Friday at SiriusXM. Well, it was actually Sunday night through Friday night, right? Sunday night through Thursday night, because Friday morning show would be the last show of the week. But I used to do that. And every night I would come in with what Nick Costos, who's now one of the great sports betting broadcasters in the industry. Nick Costos was my intern pulling audio for me. Now he's like one of the best sports betting media guys out there. Go figure. And here I am. So Nick Costos used to say, oh, you got your bag of death with you. And usually it was Wendy's, but I would also make a run to McDonald's, which they were right next to each other. So we're in Midtown Manhattan. So I would go and get like mozzarella sticks from McDonald's. This is back when they had mozzarella sticks. And then I'd go to Wendy's and get my Baconator and all that stuff. Oh, it was great. It was epic. And Costos would be like, you got your bag of death? Yes. Oh, yeah. They only had them in certain markets. They only had mozzarella sticks in certain markets. Yeah, Sonic has them here, too. We have a Sonic here. Sonic is just far enough that I don't go often. I like their grilled cheese. Sometimes I get their grilled cheese when I'm in the mood. Yeah, Sonic. Yeah, grilled cheese from Sonic. It's a lot of days of the week. Let me tell you, it's a lot of days. Grilled cheese might replace sushi as my death row meal. Grilled cheese with bacon. Oh, we could have that conversation tonight. What's your death row meal? What's your death row meal? We'll make that the question of the night on the text and on Twitter. We'll throw that out when we come back. I got to talk about James Harden tonight. That's what I planned to open the show with before we went off the rails. If it's your first time listening to the show, we're not usually this bad. It's the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Stay with us. Epic monologue in front of me. SVU. Are you talking about like Law and Order SVU? Or you're talking about like documentaries? Oh, you're talking like Hill Harper, how it happened. You know. God. Yeah, it's true. Oh my God. Did you see the score in the Braves Diamondbacks game? 16-13 Arizona. And that game's in Atlanta. I mean, I know the ball flies out there a little bit, but wow. Oh, big night. Big night for Brian McDonald, fantasy geek. Yeah, Orioles little bit of a reality check the last two nights. Step up in class. Step up in class. Yeah. How old is Anthony Pepe? Oh, okay. He doesn't sound old. That's what the thing is. I'd like to talk to him sometime. Yeah. Who's winning? Oh, okay. What? The fact that the same promo just ran back to back? Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so the Twitter question of the night and text question of the night will be the same. Your death row meal. What is your death row meal? Hit me up on Twitter, at the back page. Again, on Twitter, at the back page. What is your death row meal? Or text it to us, 888-670-8549. 888-670-8549. Should we give something away to somebody who's got the best death row meal? Says the guy who doesn't have to give it away. I'm looking around in the prize closet here. Hold on. Yeah, my shelf of stuff. Well, I've got autographed stuff. I've got autographed baseballs. That Patrick Ewing autographed baseball is not going anywhere. But there is a cool addition coming to the background. I cannot say what it is. There is something very cool coming to the background, but I cannot say what it is because it's a surprise. But something very cool is coming. Yep. Oh, 2-1. Yankees are on the board, baby. Let's go. Come on. Woo! Gleyber Torres. Fair, it's gone. It's gone. Great. 14th home run of the season for Gleyber Torres. So 2-1 Angels over the Yankees. 404 feet. It was a long fly ball. Torres is he's feast or famine. So anywho, what I wanted to start the show with tonight, what I had planned to talk about to start the show until I just went horribly askew in the first segment of the show. Daryl Morey, Daryl Morey is in a similar situation as the GM with the Blazers, whose name escapes me. It doesn't really matter. He's a GM for the Blazers. I understand the approach that these teams are taking in that, we want to appease these stars. And in the case of Portland, it's a much different situation because that organization feels like they owe something to Damian Lillard. But at the same time, they're going to do what's best for them, and they're not going to cripple their organization by making the wrong move or a move that doesn't bring back the right haul in return. And in the case of the 76ers, they're basically saying the same thing with regard to James Harden and moving him. But here's the thing about James Harden, and it's the dirty little secret or the thing nobody wanted to say, and today people are finally starting to say it. Nobody wants him. The gig is up. Nobody wants James Harden anymore. Everybody knows by now. 4 teams later, and 15 or however many playoff appearances later, everybody knows it by now. You don't win with James Harden, at least not in the postseason. Sometimes it's the supporting cast. Forever. Dan Marino, John Elway for a long time until he finally got his championships late in his career. Some guys just don't. Ted Williams, one of the great baseball players of all time, played for the cursed Red Sox, couldn't win a World Series. Mike Trout in Los Angeles with the Angels. Shohei Ohtani now out there with the Angels. Sometimes it's the supporting cast. It's the guys around the stars. But sometimes we have to accept the fact that it's the star themselves. And it's not the supporting cast. And in the case of James Harden, there is enough data out there. 85 and 75 in his postseason career. The numbers that dip when we get into the playoffs, and his style of basketball doesn't really lend itself to winning playoff games. We all know it by now. We've all seen it long enough. And teams around the league that time after time gave an opportunity or this idea that James Harden was the missing piece have now figured out, no, He's the infected piece. He's the piece that you put in that actually doesn't work. He's the piece that you put in that doesn't fit. That James Harden has currently constructed and the kind of player he thinks he is and his style of basketball is not going to suit a team. And a guy that always has to have the basketball in his hands or the game sort of revolving around his style of play. You got close a couple of times, right? I mean, 4 different runs, I think, to the conference finals, something to that effect. But 4 out of, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 trips to the postseason. 14. You know how many guys would kill for 14 trips to the postseason? He's never made it past a conference final. And out of those 14 trips to the postseason, I think only 4 times, maybe 5, but I think 4, he's made it to the conference finals. Yes. Yes. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, that's it for James Harden. And by now, there's enough data and enough data points that guys around the league, I mean, I'm sure it's not by any lack of effort that Philly's trying to move him. You don't want a guy there that doesn't want to be there. But, you know, this sort of game where the music, you know, is playing and everybody's going in and out of chairs, nobody wants James Harden. Everybody's seen it by now. The act is tired. And it's gotten more inconsistent the deeper into his career now that we go. There were times in that series against the Celtics, there were times where he looked like the James Harden of old. You know, there were times against the Heat where he looked like the James Harden of old. There were times even during the regular season, looked like the James Harden of old. But then you got games where he completely disappeared in this postseason. And for the amount of salary you're going to have to dedicate, for the amount of time you're going to have to dedicate to putting the basketball in his hands. See, here's an interesting thing. There's 2 guys in this offseason. There's a few guys in this offseason that are at sort of huge cross sections in their career, huge intersections, where they have to ask themselves, am I going to continue to play just so I get a big payday and not really worried about winning titles in the case of, you know, a Chris Paul, a Westbrook, a Harden, a Lillard? Or is it about getting to the right situation and accepting a role where I can contribute and still be appeased from an ego standpoint and my team has a chance to win a championship? And you've got 2 guys in particular, Harden, late stages of his career. Chris Paul, late stages of his career. Lillard, certainly closer to the back 9 of his career than the front. In the case of Lillard, he wants to win a championship. That's why Miami is the place for him. Chris Paul is going to a team he couldn't stand. He's going to the team that kicked his ass so many times in Golden State. Play for the Warriors. And he might come off the bench. There's a real possibility. And I got news for you. He may not love it. But Chris Paul, damn it, he wants a championship. And he's going to set some of that ego aside. Not all of it, because he's Chris Paul. It's not possible to put it all aside. I'd be asking way too much. But Chris Paul's going to put some of that ego aside and come off the bench if that's what the Warriors ask him to do. And there's a very good chance that that's exactly what has to happen, because where are you putting him in that starting lineup? It's not a spot where he really makes sense. He makes sense coming off the bench. And by the way, coming off the bench doesn't mean he's not in the game late. Doesn't mean he's not. It's not about who starts. It's about who finishes in those key moments of basketball games. And Paul will be on the court in those times, provided he can still be the Chris Paul that the Warriors hope they're getting. I've never gotten the sense that James Harden will be that guy. Even Carmelo Anthony, at the end of his career, was willing to do whatever it took. He even played defense late in his career that he didn't play for the first 15 years of his career. Carmelo Anthony was willing to take a role coming off the bench, put the ego aside. He was an MVP caliber player. James Harden has never been that guy, and I don't think he ever will be. The act is tired. People are done with it. Bob Nightingale talks baseball next. I'm recorded. Yeah, see what you can figure out for that. It's a penguin on skis. Name of the company is Penguin. They make clothes that I really, really like. I've become a big fan of their stuff. Yeah. I wear that black polo I wear. I don't know how, well, you don't do the show all the time, but sometimes I wear a black polo with like all sorts of different colors on it. It's got like red, blue, black. Yeah, you definitely see me wear. That's Penguin. The blue polo I wear is Penguin. I got a lot of Penguin stuff I wear on the show. If I could do like an apparel deal with them for my TV stuff, I would do it in a heartbeat. Yeah. I really would, because I love their stuff. Got to try and see if I can reach out to them. By the way, what I'm hearing now, is that what runs on the stream? Is it? Okay. I'm just curious. Yeah. Unless I guess if there's nothing running in the locals, yeah. Yeah. Wake up call. These are two guys I'd like to have a drink with. They're in Houston, right? Or are they not? Oh, okay. Rolling
What's his last name?
on this Tuesday edition of the show. Always happy to talk some baseball with the great Bob Nightingale, USA Today. Senior MLB writer joins us here on the show. All right, let's start with the Yankees and Angels. We all saw the big bat flip from Shohei Ohtani last night, home run number 35. It just feels like every button Aaron Boone pushes right now is the wrong one for the Yankees.
What about me? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I'm done with you. Charles is the new first housewife. He gets shoes now. Yep, you are officially shoeless. Rolling along on this Tuesday edition of the show. Always happy to talk some baseball. 16-13 final in Atlanta. Wow. Yeah. Ohtani's up. First and second, nobody out. Ugh. God. He's got a 3-2 pitch coming from Herman. Rolling along on this Tuesday edition of the show. Always happy to talk some baseball with the great Bob Nightingale, USA Today senior MLB writer, joins us here on the show. All right, let's start with the Yankees and Angels. We all saw the big bat flip from Shohei Ohtani last night, home run number 35. It just feels like every button Aaron Boone pushes right now is the one.
It does. I mean, could have walked Ohtani there for the home run, and it's just one of those things. It's almost like a batter goes through a slump. It's almost like you said, everything he's pushing. All the buttons are going wrong right now. Really, for the entire team, it's unbelievable. That's my definition of MVP is Aaron Judge. When just what a difference a guy makes. It's incredible.
It feels like a season. I mean, look. I know we could do the what-if stuff all day here, but if the Yankees don't make the playoffs at all, is he at risk? I know he just signed a new deal, but I mean, Don Mattingly's sitting out there in Toronto. I know there must be a clamoring for him potentially to be a future Yankee manager if Boone doesn't work out. I mean, I just can't imagine them not doing something at the managerial spot. They do the whole rearranging of the deck chairs on the Titanic with the Sean Casey move. Who the hell cares about, changing the voice when it comes to the hitting coach? It's an overrated gig anyway. But, I mean, if the Yankees don't make the playoffs, is Boone in jeopardy?
I think you're right, Jason. I think he would be. Someone's got to pay the price, and if you listen to Hal Steinberg's comments over the last year, it seems like he's starting to get more frustrated. Things like his dad, but it's almost like, hey, that's not tolerable. I think the fan base would go nuts. I think he would be in jeopardy. Like you said, he just signed a new deal, and I know, front office makes a lot of decisions, everything else, but something would have to change, and they're not going to keep changing hitting coaches. So no, I agree.
Let's talk about Ohtani here for a second. We had Brian Kenny on the show last week, and we were talking about the Buster Olney report that was out there that, the Yankees would be the front runner. And I don't know what that is really based on besides the idea, because let's be honest, when it comes to big trade deadline deals, I got to go way back in my memory banks to try and remember the last time the Yankees did something so splashy at the deadline, let alone part ways with all of their prospects to go get Ohtani, who may not even re-sign with the Yankees. How realistic, credible is the idea of Ohtani in a trade deadline deal to the Yankees to you?
I don't see it. I really don't. First of all, I don't think he's going to get traded. I really don't. And if he is, I don't see the Yankees. And the Yankees have like the 14th best farm system in baseball. What are you going to do? Give them go around the diamond and give him those guys. And, he's not going to sign there. I mean, he had no interest in going in the first time around. I remember a month ago, New York writers say, hey, how do you like New York? What do you think of New York City? He goes, I don't know. I took the team bus to the stadium. I took the team bus back to the hotel. I didn't go out. He's a homebody. He does not go out. Dodgers make sense because he's right there in Southern California. I'm not going to rule out the Giants. I won't rule out the Padres.
How about the Mariners? I know, I don't know if he'd want to go step on the shadow of Ichiro, who he has so much respect for, but could Seattle be in play in the offseason? I don't think they'd trade for him. I don't think they have the prospects, but could Seattle be in play?
They could be, but if you're Ohtani, you say, you know what? If I'm leaving the Angels because they don't make the playoffs enough, why do we want to go to a team that's made the playoffs once in 21 years? I mean, they're still underachieving again. You might as well stay in Anaheim if you're going to go to Seattle, and they got no better chance of winning either. San Francisco would make the most sense to me because they need them the most. I mean, attendance there has declined. People have left the downtown San Francisco since the pandemic. The office space is now, I think, only like 20-30% used.
Oh, it's crazy.
They need a big attendance boost. So, the Dodgers sell it anyway. The Padres sell it anyway. He would have the most effect for them. Yeah. And I think you're onto something with Ichiro there. It's almost like Darvish being in San Diego. A lot of times they say, let me be my own guy there. Let me go to San Francisco where they haven't had a big Japanese star in, like 40 years.
Padres DFA Odor today. They send down Nola. They've lost 3 in a row. They continue to slip further and further in the whole wild card race. Do you anticipate the Padres being sellers at the deadline, and how big of a fire sale could it be?
I don't think they'll trade Soto. I think they're delusional enough to still think they're in this thing. I don't see it. But I do think if nothing changes here next 2 weeks, they have no choice but to trade Blake Snell and Josh Hader. And you get a lot for both those guys. Rebuild and hit the market again and do what you want for 2024. But I think it'd be crazy to hang on to those guys and not get anything back but just draft picks if you're not going to retain them at all. And I'm not sure that either guy would stay.
Same question on the Mets. They had the win streak before the All-Star break. Then they had the losing streak going into the break and coming out of the break. In the same position as the Padres. I know we all like to play sort of armchair GM and imagine this scenario where they part ways with everybody but Verlander, but how realistic is it?
I don't see the Mets. I really don't. And, Scherzer and Verlander are both making $43 million a year. So you're picking up about half that plus all next year's contract. And they're not pitching like $40 million a year guys, not even close. So, I'm not saying you don't offer them or listen to offers, but I don't think you get much back in return because how much money these guys are still being paid. It's kind of on the flip side reason I don't think Ohtani is being moved. I mean, Ohtani makes that team $20 million a year. So you trade them, that's, $8-10 million right there. Plus you're losing, seats and everything else as far as attendance come September with fans not wanting to come to the ballpark because Ohtani's not there. You can buy a whole lot of prospects for $10-15 million.
Oh, look, Bob, we were watching the game last night here in our condo, and we're looking at the backdrop behind home plate and all the advertisements. Rolling along. All the advertisements even. I mean, all the advertisements are in Japanese. All these different, all these different advertisers that come in. It's part of what's got to be baked into the cake when it comes to Ohtani.
No, you're absolutely right, Jason. Those advertisements you're talking about, they cover up suites. They'll go for $4 million a pop. That's $8 million right there. Remember now, the agent, Scott Boras, used to have a seat right there. And I asked him, I think, beginning of the season, I said, hey, where are you sitting now? Look, your suite's covered up. He says, yeah. They said I could have it if I want to pay $4 million because that's what the Japanese company's paying for it. So you're absolutely right. So those suites go away.
Talking about Bob Nightingale, USA Today, senior MLB writer. Hey, give me a thought on, the Reds, the Marlins, teams that we didn't think were going to be in a position to potentially make the postseason. Here at the deadline, the Diamondbacks are in that conversation. I know they hit a little bit of skid before the All-Star break. They've lost 4 in a row. Just in terms of, do they go out and become buyers at the deadline, or do they just try to stay the course and see if they can get in with what they currently have?
I think they're both all those teams, I think, modest buyers. You're not going to, you went to the painful rebuild, particularly in Cincinnati and Arizona, and you're not going to just, junk that and say, okay, let's go all in. But I think they have to, think to be aggressive, but not reckless, and say, okay, let's try to get a starter. Let's try to get some bullpen help. Which all 3 teams could use. Two of those teams should make the playoffs. I think the Reds are short. I mean, the Reds realistically a year away anyway. I think Arizona thought the same thing. They were a year away until things played so well for them in the first half. But that being said, I don't see them giving anyway top draft picks and like that for them. I just think they'll say, okay, we got some excess here, some surplus. Let's get a starter, but let's don't do something stupid because in 2024 is a real opportunity.
I got about 45 seconds here. Is this Baltimore thing for real? Are they a contender to win a World Series this year? And if that's the case, what do they do at the deadline? They've got tons of prospects that they can obviously part ways with if they want to go that route, or do they, again, like so many teams, just stay the course?
I think they'll do like the Diamondbacks and Reds. I think they'll be aggressive, but they went through a big painful rebuild. I mean, we lose 110 games a year. They did a carbon copy of what the Astros did. So last year, they gave up at the deadline. They traded away guys when they could have made the playoffs. This year, I think they got to make moves. I'm not sure they're good enough to get to the World Series, but I never thought they'd be right behind Tampa Bay Rays. They could win this division.
They really could. It's amazing. Bob Nightingale, check out his work. USA Today, senior MLB writer. Good to catch up with you, my friend. Enjoy the games. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Look forward to it. Thank you, Jason.
Getting thoughts with him on this Tuesday evening. Did you see the score in the Diamondbacks-Braves game? It could have easily been confused with NFL preseason. Atlanta and Arizona. We'll tell you about that on the other side. There's a lot of high-scoring games in baseball tonight. It's the Cash In. I'm Jason Page. We're coming back. I was playing with some things during that interview, which is why you heard what you heard. Yeah, a little echoey, and then it cut out a couple times. I was experimenting with a couple of things. I didn't realize what would happen when I did it. Oh, it's great. Nothing like experimenting during your nationally syndicated 3 hours. It's great. Wake me up before you go. That stupid song gets in my head from that commercial where they show the guy getting in and out of his truck and the baby's in the back seat. And every time he gets in the front seat, it goes jitterbug. It's the Volkswagen ID4 commercial. Jitterbug. Jitterbug. Yeah. Every time he gets in the seat. Yeah. Jitterbug. Tonight, before we came on the air, just because I was doing a show with you, I went and did my fast forward through Monday Night Raw. I did Monday Night Raw in 45 minutes. What? Come on. All right, look, this is a new rule. If you are hosting with me, you have to be caught up on wrestling. Move, freeze, and nobody gets hurt. Starting now. Naked Gun, 33 1/3, the final insult. Yes. He wasn't convicted of murder. Civil trial, he was found liable for the deaths, but he was never convicted. Just saying. Nordberg, that's wonderful. Make sure to retweet my question I just put up that I tagged SportsMap Radio in it. Yeah. 11-10 Mets. Final. Who started? Who started for the White Sox in that game? I don't know who started for the... Oh, Giolito started. Shit. I just texted him yesterday, too. He did a throwing session in Central Park with one of his teammates yesterday. Yeah. And then he went out tonight and got blitzed. Oh, he got destroyed. 3 2/3, 8 earned. Yeah. He could be headed to the Dodgers, it sounds like. No, but I'm in a trade because he's a free agent. They're going to deal him. Good to have you with us tonight. SportsMap Radio. SportsMap Radio app. Some wild games in baseball tonight. What is going on? It's like a full moon in baseball? Mets beat the White Sox 11-10 tonight. Mets 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the sixth, and they hang on to win 11-10. And they beat a good pitcher tonight. Lucas Giolito's actually pitched pretty well this year for the White Sox. He could be on the move. A lot of the trade scuttlebutt. I like that. Use that one. Use that one tomorrow there, Brian. Scuttlebutt. A lot of the scuttlebutt on the trade market for Giolito is that he's going to wind up with the Dodgers at the trade deadline. They like him. He wants to live on the West Coast. It's where he's from. Could happen. Giants-Reds is 8-8 in the sixth. Cubs are beating the snot out of the Nationals 15-3. This is all tonight. And the wildest game of them all tonight. Diamondbacks win in Atlanta 16-13 to snap I think it was a 4-game losing streak, if I'm not mistaken. 16-13. What are some of those box score? What does that box score look like? A whole bunch of crooked numbers in there. Perdomo, listen to this. The top 4 in the Diamondbacks batting order. Perdomo, 2 for 5, 2 RBIs. Kettle Marte, 3 for 6, 3 RBIs. In the case of, let's see. Just want to see if any of those guys have. Christian Walker had 2 home runs tonight. Wow. Corbin Carroll, 2 for 5, 2 RBIs. Christian Walker, 3 for 5, 5 RBI night for him. Nobody cares about stolen bases, Brian. Unless you're a fantasy nerd, nobody cares. Austin Riley tonight. Wow. 7 RBIs. RBIs, not RBI. It's RBIs. Austin Riley, 7 RBIs. 3 for 5, 7 runs driven in, 2 home runs. Did he steal any bases? Ronald Acuna Jr. stole his 44th base, though. There's talk he may get to 40-50. He's got 44. He's got 44 steals. He could wind up 40-50. No, nobody's ever. No. He would be the first to do 40-50. I can confirm. Jose. I'm Jose Canseco. Boy, what a year Acuna is having. 334, 23, 58, and 44 steals. An OPS of 1.005. Oh, no, it's a landslide. We looked at it just before the All-Star break. It's massive. The only thing I'm curious of, if Ohtani got traded to a National League team, what happens? Yeah. Yes. It's a mess. It's a nightmare for baseball if he gets traded to an NL team. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yes, because they're all so high. It's crazy. Like right now, yes. And I think that's the protection of why he is not more heavily favored in the AL. Because here's what's interesting. Ohtani is only minus 750 right now on FanDuel Sportsbook, the unofficial sportsbook of the Cash In with Jason Page. Brian, why is it the unofficial sportsbook of the Cash In with Jason Page? Exactly. Ohtani is minus 750 and Acuna is minus 650. You would think Ohtani. I mean, in the real world, he should be at least minus 1,000. I think they're leaving themselves a little out in case, he winds up getting traded to an NL team or God forbid he were to get hurt, something like that. But Acuna is minus 650. Mookie Betts is plus 650. Freddie Freeman is plus 1,600, and then it just goes crazy. In the case of the American League MVP, Ohtani is minus 750. And then everything else is just off the charts crazy. Seager is plus 1,900. Kyle Tucker is plus 3,500. That's the second best. Yeah. Tucker and Bo Bichette. Tucker and Bo Bichette are tied for the third best odds at plus 3,500. Yes. Yep. Look, he might hit 62. He might tie or break Judge. I mean, going into last night, him and Judge were on the exact same pace. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I mean, he's not hitting 70. If he got traded to I'll tell you what, if he got traded to the Yankees, I think he'd easily break Judge's record. And I think he'd get to 65 or 66 if he got traded to the Yankees. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. Yes. It's a record. It's the American League record. Be the American League record. It's the American League record. And it's the non-steroid juicing clear cream record. There. You're gonna put me in a bad mood again, Brian? I was just starting to come out of it. Even though the Yankees are trailing 3-1 now. They're lucky they're not down a lot more. It was bases loaded, I think, with like nobody out for the Angels. They only got one across. So it's 3-1 Angels right now. Yankees have struck out about 7,400 times already in this game. The Yankees strike... Oh, my God. They struck last night. I think they struck out 15 times. I mean, half their outs are strikeouts. There is nothing more unproductive than a strikeout. Volpe just struck out again. Yes. Boy, oh, boy. I'll tell you. Yes. There's something very interesting to what you just said. And I might explore this. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it too heavy now because we only got about 2 minutes here left in the segment. But I want to explore this after the top of the hour because I'm going to suggest something that might sound crazy to a Yankee fan. If you're a Yankee fan listening to this show, what I'm going to say might sound crazy, but when you hear me out, you might think differently. Let's see. Yeah, Yankees have struck out 6 times already tonight, and it's the top of the 5th inning with 2 outs, and they just struck out for the 7th time tonight. This team strikes out every time. The Yankees are down 3-1. It feels like they're down 13-1 because this offense just can't score. It really is. It's true. Oh, and Ohtani's coming up 3rd next inning. That was an epic bat flip by him last night because he doesn't do that sort of stuff. You could tell he was fired up last night when he did that bat flip late in the game with the home run off Michael King, the 2-run jack. It's just putting me in a bad mood again. Who's the Cy? I wonder who the favorite is to win the Cy. Is there Cy Young? Spencer Strider. Right now, the favorite to win the Cy Young in the NL. Plus 250 on Spencer Strider. Zach Gallen is plus 250 as well. Then Blake Snell at plus 500 and Logan Webb at plus 800. By the way, I've got, I think, 3 different Logan Webb autographed baseball cards. We should do something. We should do something with those because I can't give them away right now. We should do something with those. And people are sending in their death row meals. Sad people. I think we should put people to death just for saying burgers and fries. Yeah. Garrett Cole in the AL plus 220. Fromber is number 2 at plus 250. Fromber Valdez. Kevin Gausman plus 370. Shane, don't call me Rue McClanahan at plus 500. And Nathan Eovaldi plus 1,100. Louis Castillo plus 2,000. So that's what you got right now in the American League Cy Young race. All right, a suggestion on what the Yankees should do coming up on the other side. We'll update you on the night in baseball and a whole bunch more. I'm Jason Page. Second hour of the Cash-In is right around the corner on SportsMap Radio. Oh, my God. It's not going to be next year, unfortunately. And, of course, like, I made this big deal of pumping up Joe Adele as the guy to, help save the Angels season. And then, like, literally his second game, he, like, tore something and he's, like, done. Like, God almighty. Oh, my God. Well, trying to get playing time on that team has been a nightmare for him. That's been the problem. Oh, hello. Come on, Herman. Let's go. How'd the Mets score 11 runs tonight? They walk 15 guys? Like, how on earth did the Mets score that many runs? That's what I want to know. What did the Mets do? A's lead the Red Sox 3-0. Yankees are dead last in the AL East right now. Dead last. I want to scream. What'd Louis Robert do? Jake Berger, a big night tonight. I got an autographed Jake Berger card. That's a good question. Or is it Gavin Sheets that I have a autographed card of? Yeah, no. Is that Gavin Sheets? I think so. Let me see. Sheets or it's Berger? I can't remember. I had a nice Andrew Vaughn autographed card I got rid of last year. Yeah, that was kind of my thinking. The Mets tonight. Let's see. Tommy Pham is having a hell of a season. 2 for 3. RBI, 2 walks. I bet he stole a base too. Man, Francisco Alvarez is the fucking real deal, though. That guy is starting to rake for them. He's in the middle of Francisco Alvarez. Yeah. 2 home runs tonight for Alvarez. He's got 19 on the year. Brett Beatty homered. DJ Stewart homered. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ohtani. RBI triple 4-1. Christ on a stick. Almost hit it out. 110.5 miles an hour exit velo. Oh, no. How did this wind up a triple? Oh, into the corner. Oh, my God. Yeah. This is it. I thought this was going to be like the 2 weeks where like the Angels realized their season was over. Oh, it's going to be the Yankees season that's over at the end at the trade deadline. Just, I don't know. As The Rock would say, it doesn't really matter. Did you see that whole Rick Steiner story, by the way? About the transphobic thing and all that? Oh, you haven't seen it? Yeah. Go look up the Rick Steiner stuff. Oh, my God. Enormous. Yeah. Another hour of the show starts right now on SportsMap Radio, the SportsMap Radio app, our affiliates all over the country. Hello to our friends listening on 97.1, The Freak in Dallas. You got to be a freak to be listening to me. I don't even know what that means. Not even sure. Yeah, just trying something out. Oh, it's 5-1 Angels. I'm done. I'm almost tempted to turn off the Yankee game in the fifth inning. It's over. It's over. Let's back up the truck. Let's pack it in. It's over. The Yankee season's over. It's done. Ohtani just tripled in a run. He's got like 77 or 78 RBIs. I don't know. Yeah, Bob Nightingale made an interesting point about Ohtani, by the way, about the Angels not trading him. He's worth $20 million to them. So no matter what they pay him, they're basically getting back $20 million of it. And right now, imagine they're paying him almost nothing. So he's getting this year he's getting a lot because he was arbitration eligible and all that. But I mean, they have made so much money with him that this idea of, what he's going to make in his next deal, 500, 600, 700, I'm predicting it's going to get to 700 million. A lot of people are saying 500. Well, I will tell you, last year, and I'm not going to toot my own horn, except I'm going to toot my own horn. I nailed Judge practically to the T. There's an over-under on his contract? Oh, it's going over. I think it's going to be, I actually think it's, by the time it's all done, I think it's going to get to 700. Yes. I am certainly 600, and I think 700 is definitely in play. He's going to, and I said this last night on the show, and I'll say it again. I'll say it again. It's a gas, son. It's not just going to break records. It's going to be the number for a long time. Because I don't think anybody's coming close to it after he's done. No, it won't. Like I said, this is going to be the one that breaks it. This is going to be the one that breaks the system. Because every year in baseball, every year in sports, no matter what the sport is, you get record contract the next year, record contract. And you only have the record usually for one season. And sometimes you don't even have it for the entire offseason. It winds up getting broken. This Ohtani contract, I could see it being like a decade before we get anything close to it. Like, this is going to be an earth-shattering number that he gets. I don't know if see, the problem is he's not young. 10 years is crazy. I mean, is he going to be like Ichiro and play forever? I don't know. I don't know if that's because again, it almost feels like that we know so little about him because he really doesn't talk much. And I'm not talking about the English-Japanese thing or any of that. I'm just saying in general. He only talks on his pitching days. He cherry-picked it. He said, hey, I'm not an everyday position player, so I don't have to talk every day. I'm a pitcher, so I'll talk on my pitching days only. So we don't know this guy the way we know a lot of guys and what makes them tick. Like the Judge deal, I nailed it. Called it almost to the dollar. I got the receipts. This, I think, is going to just come down to, I don't think it's going to be him that dictates what this contract is. I think the market and the war that's going to ensue between teams might be what dictates it. Because you're going to wind up with 3, maybe 4 teams in the mix. I mean, let's run through it. The Angels are going to try to keep him. The Dodgers are going to want him. The San Francisco Giants will be in the mix. I think Seattle will be in the mix. They got that Nintendo money. They still have that Nintendo money, don't they? I think so. Nintendo used to own the Mariners. Really? You didn't know that? Yeah, Nintendo used to have I'm pretty sure Nintendo. Now you're going to make me go look this up and go all far afield. No, you're going to. Thanks. You just screwed me up. Mariners principal owner. Purchased the team in 92. Hiroshi Yamauchi was the principal owner. Before that was Nintendo's third president. I don't know. I'm not sure. Does Nintendo still own the Mariners? Here it is. John Stanton is the principal LLP of First Avenue Entertainment. Okay. Yeah, they were the previous owner. Nintendo still has 10% of the club. So there you go. So to me, the Mariners are going to be in the mix, and I think the Yankees and Mets will at least get involved in it. And if you've got enough teams in the conversation, now, who knows if Ohtani just eliminates some of that right out of the gate and says, all right, I'm not going to Seattle because I'm not going to play in the shadow of Ichiro's ghost, or I'm not going to step on the shadow being the legacy of Ichiro, which I think there is definitely something to be said for that. There's such a respect factor and, the culture and all of that stuff. I think he respects Ichiro so much that the Mariners may be out of the mix altogether just because he won't go there because he doesn't want to upstage Ichiro. So that's one thing that could happen. But if you wind up with 3 or 4 teams in a bidding war, I think it definitely goes over $549 million in that number you mentioned. Would not shock me at all. Like I said, I think $600-700 million is absolutely in play. You think about what he's worth. We were talking about this in the interview with Bob Nightingale. Go turn on the Angels game if you can. Go if you have like the MLB.TV app or whatever and you can watch any game, go turn on the game and go look at the scrolling scoreboard behind home plate. Count how many of the ads are in Japanese. Turning Japanese? I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Go look. Go look at the backdrop during the game. I saw an ad last night for Japan's #1 cat food. I swear to you last night. One of the advertisements behind home plate was Japan's #1 cat food. They're not even putting ads that are even for the Americans watching the game. They're strictly catering to the Japanese audience because that's how many people in Japan are watching the games. Imagine that. I mean, we talk about this in the numbers of, he's got 35 home runs and he's on pace to hit 60, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to be the MVP and he pitches and does all this. He's an economy unto himself. Like no baseball player since who? You want to say Ichiro? I mean, Ichiro had his own cleats, his own spikes, stuff like that. I mean, Ichiro was this. I think he's bigger than Ichiro. How is he not? I think there's enough of a sample size to say if he's not bigger than Ichiro, by the time his career's done, he will be bigger than Ichiro. Especially if he stays healthy, because Ichiro had we were talking about this last week on the show. Ichiro had so many injury issues over the last 5 years of his career that Ohtani might want, and as great as Ichiro was, Ohtani might wind up being better than Ichiro. And again, I don't know if he wants to do that to him in Seattle. I don't know if that matters to him or not. Now, Ichiro might also, Ichiro could make a phone call to him and say, hey, if you want to go to Seattle, go. He might have a conversation with him for all we know. But I mean, Ohtani is an economy unto himself. This is one of the first times I've looked at the backdrop during an Angels, an at-bat in the Angels game, and it hasn't been a Japanese advertisement behind home plate. It's the first time. It's 5-1 Angels on top of the Yankees, top of the sixth. Throwing error at shortstop allows Giancarlo Stanton to reach base. Trey Cabbage unable to make the scoop. Yeah, they got a guy named Trey Cabbage on their team right now. So, Yankees down 5-1, runner at first, top of the sixth. Again, it might as well be 15-1 the way this Yankee offense has been. If they come back and win this game, I'll give something away. How's that? No, I didn't come up with anything I really liked. I'm not giving away 17 things. Here's what I'll do. I will give away some type of Angels autographed card. I'll go through my box, and I will find an Angels card to give away tonight, an autographed card, something with some value to it. Not a Tim Salmon. I don't even think I have a Tim Salmon. Come on, man. I don't think I have any K-Rods. I only started collecting again about 4 years ago. Oh, my God, Yankees. 4-6-3 double play inning over. My God, they're unwatchable. They're unwatchable. The New York, I can't remember in the last 20 years. I cannot remember 25 years even just feeling this hopeless watching a Yankees team. I could feel my blood pressure rising. I still got to get to my suggestion on what the Yankees should do. We're coming back. God, they're unwatchable. Dookie, they're unwatchable. They're unwatchable, Dookie. What happened was when we found him, we were wandering. He was found with a ratty old blue collar on him in our neighborhood, and on this ratty old blue collar, written in black Sharpie, were the letters DUKY. And I'm like, I don't know if this is your name or if it stands for something, but now it is your name. That was how he came up with his name. He's gnawing on a bone over there near the door. So bad. So bad. Oh, my stomach hurts. I think that double quarter pounder with bacon and jalapenos and cheesy sauce is starting to rebel. Yeah. Yeah, it just feels like it's sitting there right now, and it's like, I'm not leaving. It's kind of what it feels like right now. It's just sitting there and saying, I'm not leaving. We didn't even put any of the mojito spindrifts in the fridge.
Was that my task?
I put them in yesterday after I bought them. Well, after I bought them with your credit card. I Can I have one with a glass of ice, please? No, I want one of the new ones. Or that, yeah. All right, here you go. You ready? Clean house. The Yankees should absolutely clean house. Clean house. Go hire Don Mattingly to be your next manager. Go try and wrangle Kim Ng, NG. Yeah. Go get Kim Ng from the Marlins and start over. And I'm not saying get rid of all the players or anything like that. And stop managing from a computer and stop doing things, because obviously what you're currently doing is not working. Oh, look, advertisement behind home plate, Bandai Namco. Again, making my point for me. Video games, Bandai Namco behind home plate. Let's count between now and the end of the game. How many advertisements for Asian-owned companies are behind home plate? And by the way, it's a very cool ad. It's Pac-Man behind home plate, which if anybody watches our show, as a matter of fact, if you look on the video feed of the show right now, you will see Pac-Man behind me. Well, Miss Pac-Man now, but I think I think if you're the Yankees, I think you clean house. This regime has had enough time at this point. Yes, I'm talking Boone and Cashman go. I mean, look, Josh Donaldson's not going to be on this team next year. We already know that. I don't know what you do with LeMahieu because he's locked up and they owe him a ton of money. And maybe you can rationalize holding on to him for another year because you say, all right, this year was just so bad it can't be. You know, that maybe you make some tweaks in his swing and he can and you could fix DJ LeMahieu. But outside of that, you know, you've got a lot of young talent on the farm that's going to continue to make its way up here. Jason Dominguez is the last 6 games. Jason Dominguez has 10 hits at Double-A, so he's starting to figure it out. He's the 40th best prospect in Major League Baseball. He's obviously one of the Yankees' top 2 or 3 prospects. So that's, to me, I think you get rid of the manager, you get rid of the GM, and you start with new leadership. Because what they're doing right now just simply is not working. That's all there is to it. Just not working. 1-800-224-2004 is the telephone number. 800-224-2004. I don't want to be too New York centric, but I almost ask myself, would you rather be a Yankee fan or a Met fan right now? Right. It's like, cut off my pinky or cut off my little toe. Yeah, they do. They have a better farm. The thing is, the Yankees got a lot. Yes, and the Yankees, the Mets got rid of a lot of their farm pieces. Pete Crow, Armstrong, the Mets gave up a lot of their good farm players, and you've even heard their owner Steve Cohen say, "We got to fix the farm." By the way, Orioles tonight coming back down to earth. Step up in class, not going so well. They got blitzed by the Dodgers tonight. It's 10-3. I don't know if that game's gone final, but it was 10-3 last time I looked. Another wild game tonight. The Giants lead the Reds 11-10 in the bottom of the 7th in Cincinnati. Whew. I don't know what it is. This might be like a record night for runs scored in Major League Baseball. And Ellie De La Cruz doesn't have an RBI in the game, and it's 11-10. Joey Votto, though. Yeah, Votto's got his 8th home run of the season tonight. You heard Bob Nightingale say he doesn't think Cincinnati's going to be able to make the postseason, and I'll be interested to see if he's right about that. Right now, wild card in the National League, San Francisco at 53-41, Arizona 53-42, and Philadelphia 53-42. Miami 53-44 is out of the wild card race, or is out of the wild card spot right now at a half game back of Philadelphia. Cincy is 2.5 back in the wild card, but they are 2 back in the NL Central. Feels like some of the shine is off that situation. Cincinnati's dropped 5 in a row going into tonight. They lose tonight, it would be 6 straight. San Francisco on a 6-game winning streak tonight, going into tonight. If there's a team, and again, I don't know if they have the prospects to do it. I know some of their farm. Marco Luciano is one of their big studs on the farm. I think he's top 15 MLB prospect. Got an autographed card of his, too. Autographed card of his, I think, numbered to 20. I think I have an autographed minor league card of his numbered to 25, if I'm not mistaken. Which is pretty good. Luciano, could be somebody that they move if they were to try to make a trade for Ohtani at the deadline. San Francisco could be a team that, boy, do you give up your whole farm system, though? God. I yeah, but how many farm guys pan out? I mean, we go through this all the time. Go look at all the guys that got traded for Juan Soto. How many of those guys are going to pan out? Yeah, once you get to the playoffs, that crap doesn't matter. I don't care what you do in the regular season. You know as well as anybody. Playoffs are a different animal. Good pitching beats good hitting. You give me Ohtani and Logan Webb as your 1-2 for the Giants, and you're going to see those guys, 4 or 5 times in a series? Good luck. Oh, I think Charlie Morton's very beatable in the postseason. Come on. Charlie Morton. Come on. You're not scaring me with Charlie Morton. I'm sorry. You're not scaring me with Charlie. You are not scaring me. You want to talk about Spencer Strider? That's fine. You are not scaring me with talk of Charlie freaking Morton. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory scares me more than Charlie Morton. Well, Logan Webb hasn't had as many starts in the postseason either. Dave in Connecticut, our P1 of P1s, along with Dave in Austin, Texas. See, David in Austin, Texas, I put you there with Dave in Connecticut. Said, who do you take to win it all? Rays, Rangers, Braves, or the field? No, but he's saying you could take the Rays, Rangers, and Braves or the field. So you would take the group of 3. I don't think I would. Here's the reason why. We could sit here and go through it all night. We have an hour and 26 minutes left in the show. How many times does the team with the best record win the World Series? I mean, that's all you got. That's all I need. That's all I need. And this has been a wacky, goofy year in baseball. The stolen base stuff, the pitch clock, all of these different things. I am not banking on the team with the best record. In fact, I would probably in that, if that's the wager, Dave in Connecticut, I had to think about it a little bit. Who do you take to win it all? Rays, Rangers, Braves, or the field? So those 3 teams or 6 other teams. No, those 3. Shut up. Just shut up, Paige. Those 3 teams or not. Shut up. No, it's not. It's not because 12 teams make the playoffs. That's what I'm talking about. So 9. It's 9. No, we got a good idea. But we've got a good idea. 9. Let's just please, for the sake of my brain not exploding. 9. That's what we got. So you got 3 teams or 9 teams. But the 3 teams are the Rays, Rangers, or Braves. I don't know, Dave. I can't make a decision on that. All right, we're halfway home on this Tuesday edition of the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Come on back. I'll be right back. I gotta get a drink. What happened to my spindrift?
Went back on the air, so I couldn't put ice for you. You want me to go come?
You make more noise doing other things than that.
I get yelled at again. Keep it down there, you.
Wow. Brian might have heard that all the way in Houston. Yeah, that's what my husband sounds like when he's trying to impersonate me. 5-1 Angels. Wow. Painful. Thank you. Oh, there's more. How much ice did you put in it? Oh, it's the same one. Ah. Oh, Aaron Boone is trending on Twitter. This was Aaron Boone last night. Aaron Boone, rather, today. Aaron Boone on with John Boy. Aaron Boone does a thing with this guy named John Boy for his weekly interview now. He doesn't even do like Michael Kay like he used to anymore. This was Aaron Boone. I want you guys to. It's really worth hearing, because John Boy is basically just a Yankees fan who has a video thing. He's got he's got tons of, dude. This is, but it's crazy. Like, I mean, you know how much money people have invested in this John Boy media thing? It's crazy. Oh yeah, dude. The guy, hey, you know what, man? Whatever gets you there. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's the world we live in now. You take one thing, and if you can parlay that one thing into something, and John Boy is without question that guy. He doesn't do anything for me. I don't listen to it, but his interviews with Aaron Boone, you get much more probing questions because he's asking it from the fan perspective. The stuff that you and I sit here and say that we'd never get to ask Aaron Boone or whoever the manager is for, insert, name of whoever your manager is for your favorite team. He gets to ask it. And sometimes it could get a tad bit awkward. And it did today when he talked about last night with Boone not walking Ohtani. I have not vetted this. I don't think it has any swearing in it, so just be ready in case it does, Brian. But this was the conversation between Boone and John Boy.
We're walking him in the 5th, and we're not walking him in the 7th.
Well, we're walking him in the 5th in a 0-0 game. And with 2 outs, I was just going to take my shot. And then in the 7th, we got a 2-run lead. I think it's important to note like what Moniak's doing this year, like putting together a pretty good season. So I didn't want to just throw the time run on base. He doesn't homer 90-something% of the time, and we're obviously pitching carefully there to him and didn't execute. Are you saying you would have walked him there?
I would have.
I'm assuming you would have walked him to lead off the 9th when he struck out too.
Yeah, I'm pretty scared of that guy right now. He's hitting home runs like crazy. Obviously doesn't homer all the time, but he's in a stretch right now.
When you manage the team, you can make that call then.
The difference between...
Wow. I mean, but that's what you want. Let's be honest about it. And some of that was edited up by them and stuff, to take out the stuff, the extraneous stuff that nobody cares about. But I mean, that's good stuff. That's a 45-second, minute-long clip that makes you want to hear those interviews between on Talking Yanks and which has 208,000 followers on Twitter, by the way. It's pretty cool. And you know what? I will say this. Kudos to Aaron Boone for being willing to subject himself to that sort of second guessing and questioning. You know how many guys, and look, I think Aaron Boone needs to go at this point. I think we've seen enough. And I know people are going to say, no Yankee manager has gone to the postseason each of his first blah, blah, blah seasons and all this stuff. That's all great. Wonderful. But you're the Yankees. The goal isn't to make the postseason. The goal when you're the Yankees is to win world championships. You have not done that in a long time. So to me, it's time for a change. When it's time to change, it's time to make a change. But I give him a lot of credit for being willing to sit there and take the slings and the second guessing from some guy that, most people wouldn't know from a hole in the wall. It's not like Ken Rosenthal is asking him a question or Bob Nightingale is asking him a question or, Peter Gammons is asking him that question. It's the guy from John Boy Media who is asking him that question. Not a lot of managers would deal with that. So I do give him some credit for that, even though he's just an awful in-game manager. Okay. Yankees trail 5-1. You ready for this? Ready for this one, Brian McDonald? Top of the 8th inning. Yankees trail 5-1. They've struck out 12 times tonight. 12 times. And we're only in the 8th. And we're only in the 8th inning. They're not getting any hits. They're getting any hits. They don't get any hits. Ground out. Higashioka. Comes Anthony Volpe. There's out number one. One hit? We have one GD hit? No. Oh, yeah. Gleyber Torres does have the only. The Angels only have 4 hits. I'm so over it. I'm so over it right now. I want to throw something. I really do. I really do. I want to break something. Oh, Volpe got a hit. Yay! Anthony Volpe got a hit. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. In through the nose, out through the mouth. By the way, our Twitter question of the night is also our text question of the night. And that question is, what is your death row meal? If you had a death row meal, what would it be? Patrick Sandoval comes off to a huge ovation tonight. Pitched really well for the Angels. And then again, pitching well against the Yankees is, not that difficult. So they can't hit anything. 2 friggin' hits tonight. 1 run. So, yeah. Anyway. Twitter poll question of the night and the text question of the night are the same. What is your death row meal? 888-670-8549 on the text line. 888-670-8549 on the text line tonight. Some answers you guys have given on the text question tonight. Let's see. So over it. This one is from Al in New York, who says it's either a steak from Kegel Steakhouse in Lubbock, Texas, or a margarita pie with prosciutto from Lombardi's Pizza in New York City, and it's not even close. Leslie in the NYC says burger and fries. Okay. If you see... Like In-N-Out? Like an In-N-Out? Oh, come on. Five Guys? Oh, their fries are awful. Five Guys? Okay. All right, I thought you were talking fast food. Sorry about that. Austin, by the way, David in Austin, Texas, checking out the show tonight on the Horn. By the way, in that Rangers, Rays, Braves, or the field wager that Dave in Connecticut proposed, who would you pick to win the World Series? Those 3 teams or the field? He's going with the Rangers, he says. So, for what that is worth. By the way, there was a similar wager in golf. I'd be curious to get your thoughts. See, you probably do you even know who golfs? Do you know anything about golf? Yeah, you're about as useless as tits on a boar. Let's see here. Golf. There's a similar one for golf. A prop bet that is, let's see if I can find it. Is it tourney special? For the Open Championship. Yeah, for the Open Championship. I'm looking at it right now. Tourney special. Do you take, I'm trying to find the guys. It was the Big Four or the field. Where is it? I had it here. I can't find it. Finishing positions, no. Top 5, top 10. Nah, I can't find it. I had it last night on the show. It was a good one, though. On, would you take like Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Cameron Smith, or the field? Basically, was the bet. It was something like that. That's a pretty good one. I like the bet of Rory to finish top 10. I like that one. All right, we're coming back. Yankees are still batting. That's the good news. I doubt they're going to score, but down 5-1. We're coming back on the cash-in. Where the hell did it go? I had it here. Attorney specials. Winning margin. Winning region. Big guns versus the field. Yeah. It was Scheffler, Rahm, Cameron Smith, or Rory McIlroy to win. One of those four at plus 220 or the field at minus 310. And it's like, how do you not take the field? Oh, my God, all the time. Glaber Torres, come on. Keep the inning going at least. Nope, ground out, inning over. Inning over. Yankees are going to lose their fourth time in 5 games since the All-Star break. Wow. So bad. So bad. Have you watched any of that show Quarterback on Netflix? Do you even have Netflix? Hey, listen, you might not be able to, not everybody can afford to have a zillion different streaming things. I know you have Peacock because you got to watch those WWE pay-per-views. Premium events. All right, I'm just checking. I haven't watched it yet either. I mean, this is the big genre now, right? I mean, they did it with F1, then they did it with the PGA Tour Live Golf thing, follow the guys, get in on the inside. Then they did it with tennis. Now we're doing it with quarterbacks. I mean, this is the like genre du jour right now when it comes to things like Netflix. And you know what? It costs nothing. It really does. These types of shows cost nothing. No, you don't need writers. You don't need actors. You don't need anything. You need a camera crew. You know how inexpensive? Do you know how inexpensive? Well, right now, especially because of all the shows being on hiatus. And you think about this. I was talking about this with the hubby earlier today. With the stoppage right now, where it is with actors out and with writers out, you're not going to see any new television at least before the end of the year. Because by the time they get back in to start like filming and all that's it. It's done. You'll get some movies because a lot of that stuff is already in the can, but you're not going to get anything. All your favorite shows that you're waiting for this fall, forget about it. They're not coming back. You're gonna game shows. You're gonna get Prices Right in prime time. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, no. Yes, but I mean, you're literally going to be inundated with reality TV and documentaries and things like that. That's it. That's all you're getting. Get used to it. That's your future for till at least early next year. At least there's a chance you may not see like your favorite shows back till next fall at this point. It's going to throw off everything. And networks and all these streaming platforms, they're going to be airing. There's going to be some weird stuff airing. That's it. That's all there is. There's nothing to put out there. News from college tonight. San Diego State is going to, I know we're on in San Diego. San Diego State is going to remain in the Mountain West. Yay. Who cares? Exactly. A source told ESPN Tuesday night the conference informed San Diego State that it is a member in good standing. According to a source, Pete Thamel wrote it for ESPN, my old buddy. This step in the recently complicated relationship between the Mountain West and SDSU means the school will soon receive the $6.6 million that the league was withholding from them. So, San Diego State's going to remain in the Mountain West. 5-1 Angels on top of the Yankees tonight. That game in the bottom of the 8th right now. What else is still going on right now? Anything so? A's lead the Red Sox 3-0 bottom of the 8th. That one's still going on. Top of the 9th, Giants 11, Reds 10. With the Giants trying to win, 6th, 7th in a row. Twins lead the Mariners 8-3. Boy, that's another team that's going to wind up making a managerial change. If that thing finishes the way it's been through the first 93 games of the season, Scott Servais is going to be out of a job. No doubt. Everything else is final, by the way. Giants earlier today completed their suspended game with the Reds, beat them 4-2. I said Orioles step up in class and step down in results. Dodgers beat the Orioles tonight 10-3 in Balto. It's another one of those wake-up calls for the Orioles where you kind of figure out, all right, how good are we really? And you hope it doesn't lead into a tailspin or anything like that, because they've been playing really well coming into this series, but definitely a splash of cold water on the face here. I don't think so. I think they'll at least. I agree with Bob Nightingale, who, if you didn't catch it in the first hour of the show, we'll play it back in the 2-for-1 coming up in 40 minutes. My conversation with the USA Today senior MLB writer. I think teams like them, the Reds, the Marlins, I could see them being moderate buyers at the deadline. Moderate. I could see them being moderate buyers at the deadline. But, yeah, because especially the Orioles, they've got so many prospects. They don't even have to give up, like, top-line prospects if you're talking about getting, if you're trying to just make some deals. But I'll be interested to see what they're willing to part ways with. Well, Yankees about to go down for the fourth time in their last 5 games to start the All-Star break. Matter of fact, I think it'd be 6 of 7 7 of 8 that they've lost. Something like that. They lose time? No, it'd be 6 of 7 that they've lost. And I was saying this at the top of the hour. I was going to say it at the top of the hour. If I'm a Yankee fan, I want them to miss the postseason. Because if they make the postseason again, it's a lot harder to fire Aaron Boone if they make it as a wild card team, win the wild card round, and then advance to the next round. It'll be a lot harder to justify getting rid of Aaron Boone. If they miss the postseason altogether, you want them. If they're not going to win the World Series, and let's be honest right now, this pains me to say, the Yankees are not winning the World Series right now. Yeah, make you happy, Brian? Put a smile on your face. Look at you. I can hear you smiling on the other side of this microphone. I'm literally smashing a can right now on the desk. I'm that angry. This is so painful. There's never a year where in the last 20 years, other than the year I think the one time they missed the playoffs, where I felt like the Yankees could not win a World Series. This team cannot win a World Series. It was dependent on Aaron Judge staying healthy. Oh, it's crazy. It is. Of course it is. Of course it is. But you know what? Here's the reality. There's a lot of other guys on this roster making a lot of money. A lot of guys on this roster making a lot of money that need to do more than they're doing right now. That's the amazing thing. He doesn't hit 62 home runs last year. It's not. They don't even make the playoffs. Oh wait, hold on. We got an update. Anthony Rizzo just struck out 13 Yankee strikeouts tonight. 13 strikeouts. Come on, DJ LeMahieu. Let's make it 14. Nearly half the out. Actually, we're at about half the outs in this game. 13 out of the 26 outs by the Yankees in this game. Strikeouts. Oh, LeMahieu just roped one to left, but it's going to be caught. Game over. Yankees lose. Yankees lose. I don't even get to play Frank anymore in the show. Done. I got one more night of Fubo TV on my smart TV here in the living room. Studio J is just falling apart around me. It's just terrible. I don't even want to do the final hour. I'm so angry right now. Paul in California says his death row meal would be white rice, kimchi, soup, and short rib galbi. I don't think Brian knows what any of those are. Can you even find those in Texas? We're coming back. Yeah, nope, not at all. Not at all. Ding, 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 ding. It's deliverance. Why? You sure? Oh, okay, it's 9. All right. It was the other way around, so it must have been the Angels that had struck out that many times. All right. I turn on the Giants and Reds for the bottom of the ninth. Cool. The guts. The guts of it. All right, Cincinnati, runner on first. 1 out, down 11-10. Joey Votto, let's go. Oh, okay. Oh.
Similar fashion. 121 to 156 average against the sinker. League hits it over 300.
Whoa. 101 at your hip. That's how you get a guy off the plate, though. 2-2. This guy Duvall for the Giants throws the easiest 101 miles an hour I've ever seen. This guy Duvall closing for the Giants, he's got the easiest looking 101 I've ever seen. It just comes out of his hand so easy. He was 0-2 to Votto. Now it's 3-2. Runner on first, 1 out. The rotator. Walked him. All right. Walked him. First and second, 1 out. Get excited, Reds fans. of a Tuesday/Wednesday edition of the show. Got some excitement in Cincinnati. At least there's some excitement somewhere. The Yankees couldn't suck enough tonight. I have never seen, what's his first name? The closer for the Giants? Camilla. This kid Duvall, who closes for the Giants, I've seen him throw before. He throws the easiest 101 miles an hour I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it doesn't even look like he's breathing hard. He's out there blowing bubbles on the mound, throwing 101. Every pitch is 101. I mean, wow. He doesn't know where it's going right now, though, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I'd make him. Oh, I think he comes back with 100. 1 and 2. First and second, 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. We're watching the Reds and the Giants here in studio. Giants lead at 11-10, trying to win. I want to say their 7th in a row. I was looking it up before. Yeah, this would be their 7th win in a row. Up the middle. Oh, that's a double play to end the game. Oh, and the dirty picks it. Game over. And that's that. Duvall gets a double play grounder to end it. The defense had Steer played perfectly. And that's it. Giants beat the Reds 11-10. Cincinnati, with the loss, has now dropped 6 straight. And that's not good. Well, here's some analysis for you. Not good when you lose 6 in a row. Yeah, thank you. Dynamite dropping, Monty. Yeah, I got some good. I think I got a Lodolo autographed card. It's a running bit. Now. Yeah, I know. David in Austin, Texas, listening on the horn, says, he says, my death row last meal would be Panda Express. I don't know. I'm not sure if he knows my disdain for Panda Express. There was a time in 2019 where I ate, authentic Asian cuisine known as Panda Express. There was a time in 2019 where I went through like a 6-month stretch where I ate a lot of Panda Express. The like shrimp, the walnut shrimp. Yeah, the honey walnut shrimp is just to die for, man. Whew. I can't do orange chicken. Yeah, I'm not an orange chicken guy. Yes. I'm just the taste doesn't really do it for me. Orange chicken's kind of boring to me. I mean, if it's good orange chicken, not Panda Express orange chicken, it's different. Yeah, I know. That's your jam. I get it. So another game in the books. Giants win tonight 11-10. Again, they've won 7 in a row now. So take that one off the board. Twins lead the Mariners 8-3. Bottom of the 7th in Seattle tonight. Not looking good for the Mariners right now. Again, I wonder what they do at the deadline. Boy, and it has been a tough sophomore season for Julio Rodriguez, who's not even in the lineup tonight. He has really struggled. I know there were some fans in Seattle hoping that, the All-Star game and the home run derby would get them all going the right direction, but nah, Mariners are a mess right now. I have zero to base this on except for just observational. But to me, when Yordan Alvarez hit that home run, it still feels like that team hasn't recovered. I 100% believe the guys in that locker room and the guys in that dugout do not believe in their skipper. I think that was, I mean, look, I know everybody likes to say that, you know, these things could be overrated and all that stuff, but I mean, look at Grady Little. You know, Grady Little, it was basically, it was basically like Grady Little leaving Pedro in too long, and the Yankees beating the Red Sox. I don't know what year it was, 2007, 2006, whatever it was. And then Aaron Boone hits the walk-off home run to send the Yankees to the World Series. And I was there for the Aaron Boone home run. But, you know, that basically cost Grady Little his job. And I said it last year. If I were the team, I wouldn't have let Scott Service come back to friggin' Seattle after the home run that Alvarez hit. You know, and I think there's something to be said for guys in that locker room just not believing in their skipper. And you're going to run through a wall for that guy? Now, there's certain managers, you know, Bruce Bochy, who looks like he can barely walk in Texas. I'd run through a wall for that guy. You know, Jim Leland, I'd run through a wall for that guy. I love Buck. I know the Mets have struggled this year, but I love Buck. Even Dusty. Yeah, I'd run through a wall for Dusty. Terry Francona. Yeah, I mean, I'd run through a wall for that guy. Scott Service? No. Nope. Not if I wouldn't even hop over the wall for him. The only game on that's left is Seattle and Minnesota, so we'll put that on in the studio here. Our question of the night on Twitter at the back page and on the text line at 888-670-8549. 888-670-8549. Our text question of the night: what is your death row meal? It's there's three things that I really like. One is Pepe's Pizza, which is located in New Haven, Connecticut. They've got a bunch of locations now in the area, and I think they have one in I want to say West Palm Beach, Florida. No, it is New Haven. No, it is New Haven. Yeah, it is thin, but it's New Haven, which is the greatest pizza in the country. New Haven, Connecticut. No, I mean it is a thin crust, but I'm saying like New Haven pizza is I mean, if you go and look at like the list of like the top 10 pizza places, 2 or 3 of them will be in Connecticut. And they'll be in New Haven. So Pepe's Pizza is one option. Sushi is another. But I don't know which sushi I would go with necessarily. And then, you know, those would probably be the two things. I mean, I joked around about grilled cheese before, and there's a restaurant here in Palm Springs that makes a mean grilled cheese with bacon and avocado that I just love. It's called Black Book. It's here in Palm Springs, but it's really good. Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah. Oh, so good. So good. All right, so we'll do the comeback. We'll do the comeback thing with the Mariners. If the Mariners come back, by the way, they have first and second 2 outs, trailing 8-3 in the 7th with Eugenio Suarez at the plate. If the Mariners come back and win tonight, one lucky person who texts the show in this hour will get an autographed card. I'll have to go through my Mariner stuff and see what I can find, but we'll give you a good Mariners autographed card. But you got to text the show. Why don't you just give me like Ken Phelps? I mean, no, can we go back to like the 80s or 90s? Because you're going back. If we're going to go back, let's go back. Like Jay Buhner. I actually think I have. You know the funny thing? I actually think I have a Jay Buhner autographed card. Oh, Suarez doing yard. Oh, I thought it was a home run. I did the old Phil Rizzuto. I thought it was gone and it was caught on the warning track. Yeah. The swing was very deceiving. Yeah. That's all right. Can I give you one? Oh my God. The other day, Yankees Rockies on Sunday. John Flaherty, the former catcher, is doing the game with Jeff Nelson. Yankees are up, I want to say 4-2 in the ninth or something like that. And literally, guy on first, and it might have been like Nolan Jones or somebody at the plate. And here's the pitch. And it's popped up to left. Wait a minute. It's a home run. He said popped up, like routine pop up. The ball was gone in left center. And I'm like, dude, you can't be that bad. No, come on. A pop-up. I'm going to have to see if I can find the call because it was one of the worst calls. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, are you drinking during the game? Are you like day drinking during this Sunday afternoon game? I get that it's getaway day and the Yankees suck, but my God. We're coming back. See if I can find this. Let's see. Flaherty. Pop up. Oh, please let this be here. Popped up. The ball went 450 feet. It's great. It's great. Popped up.
Great save.
All right, so here it is. Sunday, Yankees up 7-5 in the 11th. Nolan Jones at the plate with a runner on base. John Flaherty on the mic. You can't make this up.
Big save. Popped up.
We'll have to fix the stupid cable. I thought I'd fix this thing. See if I can get this thing fixed. I gotta play this. Here's the call from John Flaherty. Come on. Any moment now. Spinning wheel of death on the computer. This is a metaphor for the Yankee season, I feel like. Yep, that's about right.
Save. Popped up. More than popped up as that ball is driven the other way for a 2-run shot. And we are all tied up at 7.
I mean, come on. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So bad.
League save. Popped up. More than popped up as that ball is driven the other way.
Oh, my God, John Flaherty. Just go home and don't come back. Oh, please. There had been talk that one day he could be a manager. God, I hope not.
Trejo, 120 at-bats, does not have a home run this year.
And then he hit a game-winning walk-off home run. Yankee fans are so over it right now. They're like, we never want to hear Flaherty do another game again. I'm even one of those people that doesn't go because I've done play-by-play, and it's not easy to do. And you're going to make mistakes, but I even had to go on Twitter and just crush them. When you say popped up and the ball goes 450 feet. Yeah. It's like the default was popped up, you know? Yeah. But literally 1 second before Trejo hits the walk-off home run.
Trejo, 120 at-bats, does not have a home run this year.
$421-foot walk-off home run. Yes. Yep. He's 33 for 33 inside 40 yards this season. Bling! All the time. Coming up in 12 minutes, we'll talk baseball with Bob Nightingale. Does a great job from USA Today. They're fine. Senior MLB writer will hang out with us for a bit. Willie Castro getting some meaningful at-bats for the Twins. That's good to see. You know, I got 2 autographed Willie Castro cards for when he was with the Tigers. From when he was with the Tigers, because there was a time where they thought he was actually going to be a good prospect. He kept hitting well in spring training, and then he'd get into the major league season and he couldn't hit. 3 for 4 tonight for Willie Castro, hitting 244. I do. I have 2 of almost the exact same autographed cards of his with the Tigers. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. It doesn't look like we're going to get that Mariners comeback tonight. Top of the 8th. Matter of fact, they're going to the bottom of the 8th now. Castro was just robbed of his 4th hit of the night. Yeah. Am I wrong? Text from Richard in Austin, Texas. Not the same as David in Austin, Texas. Listening on the horn. He says, my last meal would be Franklin barbecue. I don't know what that is, but okay. Oh, is that like a thing in Texas? That's like a Texas thing? Okay. Okay. It's funny you should mention that because I actually had a story in my rundown. Okay. Well, the answer is I have never watched a single episode of Hard Knocks. I swear to you. And the reason I planned on mentioning that was this will be the year I finally watch Hard Knocks. One, well, yes, and two, I didn't really have HBO up until recently. So now I'm in a position with HBO. We have Max. So I'll definitely be watching this year because I think that's going to be must-see TV with Aaron Rodgers and company. Text from Detroit. Hey, Jason, the MLB managers you just mentioned that you would run through the wall for have 10 times better resumes than this Mariners manager. Fair point about the Alvarez home run potentially crushing this team going forward. Don't really see a postseason berth from them this season. James in Detroit. You guys got a text? Send it to me. 888-670-8549. 888-670-8549 if you want to reach out to us on the text line. Up-to-date standings, by the way. Tampa Bay with a 1-game lead on Baltimore. How about this? You ready for this? American League right now, Tampa Bay's lost 3 in a row. Orioles have lost 2 in a row. Toronto lost tonight. Red Sox lost tonight to the lowly Hayes. And the Yankees have lost 3 in a row. The entire American League East has an L next to its name for a streak. They did not. AL Central, obviously Minnesota leading the way, a game up on Cleveland. Amazing. Cleveland's a game out of first at 47-48. I know, but somebody's got to make it. Detroit's just 5.5. I know. Detroit is just 5.5 out in that division, and they are 42-52. They are still contenders at 42-52. It's mind blowing. What did Detroit do tonight? They must have lost. Oh no! Oh, they lost to the Royals 11-10. Another crazy game tonight. 11-10 Royals over the Tigers. Bobby Witt Jr. doing that game. Wow, he had an over. Go figure. Wow. Tigers. Let's see, Spencer Torkelson's starting to heat up. 3 for 5 tonight. 5 RBIs, 2 home runs. He's got 14 on the air. Maybe some good news for the Tigers. Oh, it was dreadful. No, and he didn't. He's been kind of up and down this year, but 234 is an improvement on what he was last year, and he's driving in runs. You mentioned the Rockies tonight beating the Astros. Let me see if I can find it. 4-3 was the final. What did my boy Tovar do? That's what I want to see. Selfish motivation. Tovar 1 for 3 with an RBI. So my boy Ezekiel Tovar. Did he? Well, it's funny you should say that. A lot of people have been talking about the fact that scoring in Major League Baseball this year, and I mean official scoring, is really bad. Like if you just make contact with the ball, it doesn't matter what happens, it's going to be ruled a hit. And I don't know what it is that's going on this year and why this is the case, but official scoring in Major League Baseball is as bad as it's ever been. And there are some suggesting that Major League Baseball has basically put a mandate out, quietly put a mandate out because they want to see batting averages improve. They want to see the numbers improve. So it's kind of interesting. The Rockies tonight, Ezekiel Tovar, my stud rookie, who I've got a gorgeous autographed card numbered to 50. I know. I've got autographs of everybody. I probably do. I got to get rid of some of them. They're going to the 9th, 8-3, Minnesota on top of Seattle. Bob Nightingale from USA Today on the other side to talk Major League Baseball. Stay with us. Love this Tovar card. I got to send it in to get graded. It's so gorgeous. If it grades as a 10 right now, it's probably about $100 card. Depends. Depends on the value of the card. Like, you determine the value of the card before you send it in. Not a percentage of the card's worth, but it's it just costs more to get it graded. I'm not crazy about the corners on this Tovar card as I sit here and look at it. But it's a gorgeous card. Oh, love it. Dude is such a stud. Down. Rolling along on this Tuesday edition of the show. Always happy to. Meow. Oh. Twins home run. 9-3 Minnesota. Yeesh. Kyle Farmer home run. Wonder if the Twins make any moves at the deadline. I wonder if this might be the highest scoring night in the history of Major League Baseball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 teams in double digits. That's crazy. And Minnesota's 1 run away. Rolling along on this Tuesday edition of the show. Always happy to talk some baseball with the great Bob Nightingale, USA Today. Senior MLB writer joins us here on the show. Right, start with the Yankees and Angels. We all saw the big bat flip from Shohei Ohtani last night, home run number 35. It just feels like every button Aaron Boone pushes right now is the wrong one for the Yankees, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, could have walked Ohtani there for the home run. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It's almost like a batter goes through a slump. It's almost like you said, everything he's pushing, all the buttons are going wrong right now, really for the entire team. It's unbelievable. That's my definition of MVP is Aaron Judge. What a difference a guy makes. It's incredible.
It feels like a season-long thing for Boone. And, I mean, look, I know we could do the what-if stuff all day here, but if the Yankees don't make the playoffs at all, is he at risk? I know he just signed a new deal, but I mean, Don Mattingly's sitting out there in Toronto. I know there must be a clamoring for him potentially to be a future Yankee manager if Boone doesn't work out. I mean, I just can't imagine them not doing something at the managerial spot. They do the whole rearranging of the deck chairs on the Titanic with the Sean Casey move. Who the hell cares about, changing the voice when it comes to the hitting coach? It's an overrated gig anyway. But, I mean, if the Yankees don't make playoffs, is Boone in jeopardy?
I think you're right, Jason. I think he would be. Someone's got to pay the price. And if you listen to Hal Steinberg's comments over the last year, it seems like he's starting to get more frustrated. I'm not saying he's like his dad, but it's almost like, hey, that's not tolerable. I think the fan base would go nuts. I think he would be in jeopardy. Like you said, he just signed a new deal. And I know, front office makes a lot of decisions, everything else. But something would have to change. And they're not going to keep changing hitting coaches. So, no, I agree.
Let's talk about Ohtani here for a second. We had Brian Kenny on the show last week, and we were talking about the Buster Olney report that was out there that, the Yankees would be the front runner. And I don't know what that is really based on besides the idea, because let's be honest, when it comes to big trade deadline deals, I got to go way back in my memory banks to try and remember the last time the Yankees did something so splashy at the deadline, let alone part ways with all of their prospects to go get Ohtani, who may not even re-sign with the Yankees. How realistic, credible is the idea of Ohtani in a trade deadline deal to the Yankees to you?
I don't see it. I really don't. First of all, I don't think he's going to be traded. I really don't. And if he is, I don't see the Yankees. The Yankees have like the 14th best farm system in baseball. What are you going to do? Give them go around the diamond and give them those guys. And, he's not going to sign there. He had no interest in going in the first time around. I remember a month ago, New York writers say, hey, how do you like New York? What do you think of New York City? He goes, I don't know. I took the team bus to the stadium. I took the team bus back to the hotel. I didn't go out. He's a homebody. He does not go out. Dodgers make sense because he's right there in Southern California. I'm not going to rule out the Giants. I won't rule out the Padres.
How about the Mariners? And I know, I don't know if he'd want to go step on the shadow of Ichiro, who he has so much respect for, but could Seattle be in play in the offseason? I don't think they'd trade for him. I don't think they have the prospects, but could Seattle be in play?
They could be, but if you're Ohtani, you say, you know what? If I'm leaving the Angels because they don't make the playoffs enough, why do we want to go to a team that's made the playoffs once in 21 years? They're still underachieving again. You might as well stay in Anaheim if you're going to go to Seattle, and they got no better chance of winning either. San Francisco would make the most sense to me because they need him the most. Attendance there has declined. People have left the downtown San Francisco since the pandemic. The office space is now, I think, only like 20-30% used.
Oh, it's crazy.
They need a big attendance boost. So, the Dodgers sell it anyway. The Padres sell it anyway. He would have the most effect for them. Yeah. And I think you're onto something with Ichiro there. It's almost like Darvish being in San Diego. A lot of times they say, let me be my own guy there. Let me go to San Francisco where they haven't had a big Japanese star in like 40 years.
Padres DFA Odor today. They send down Nola. They've lost 3 in a row. They continue to slip further and further in the whole wild card race. Do you anticipate the Padres being sellers at the deadline, and how big of a fire sale could it be?
I don't think they'll trade Soto. I think there's delusional enough to still think they're in this thing. I don't see it. But I do think if nothing changes here next 2 weeks, they have no choice but to trade Blake Snell and Josh Hader, and you get a lot for both those guys. Rebuild and hit the market again, and do what you want for 2024. But I think it'd be crazy to hang on to those guys and not get anything back but just draft picks if you're not going to retain them at all. And I'm not sure that either guy would stay.
Same question on the Mets. They had the win streak before the All-Star break. Then they had the losing streak going into the break and coming out of the break. In the same position as the Padres. I know we all like to play sort of armchair GM and imagine this scenario where they part ways with everybody but Verlander, but how realistic is it?
I don't see the Mets. I really don't. And, Scherzer and Verlander are both making $43 million a year. So you're picking up about half that plus all next year's contract. And they're not pitching like $40 million a year guys, not even close. So, I'm not saying you don't offer them or listen to offers, but I don't think you get much back in return because how much money these guys are still being paid. It's kind of on the flip side reason I don't think Ohtani is being moved. I mean, Ohtani makes that team $20 million a year. So you trade him, that's, $8-10 million right there. Plus you're losing, seats and everything else as far as attendance come September with fans not wanting to come to the ballpark because Ohtani's not there. You can buy a whole lot of prospects for $10-15 million.
Oh, look, Bob, we were watching the game last night here in our condo, and we're looking at the backdrop behind home plate and all the advertisements even. I mean, all the advertisements are in Japanese. All these different all these different advertisers that come in. It's part of what's got to be baked into the cake when it comes to Ohtani.
No, you're absolutely right, Jason. Those advertisements you're talking about, they cover up suites. They'll go for $4 million a pop. That's $8 million right there. Remember now, the agent Scott Boras used to have a seat right there, and I asked him, I think beginning of the season, I said, "Hey, where are you sitting now? Looks like your suite's covered up." He says, "Yeah." They said I could have it if I want to pay $4 million because that's what the Japanese company's paying for it. So you're absolutely right. So those suites go away.
Talking about Bob Nightingale, USA Today, senior MLB writer. Hey, give me a thought on, the Reds, the Marlins, teams that we didn't think were going to be in a position to potentially make the postseason. Here at the deadline, the Diamondbacks are in that conversation. I know they hit a little bit of skid before the All-Star break. They've lost 4 in a row. Just in terms of, do they go out and become buyers at the deadline, or do they just try to stay the course and see if they can get in with what they currently have?
I think they're both all those teams, I think, modest buyers. You're not going to, you went through the painful rebuild, particularly in Cincinnati and Arizona, and you're not going to just, junk that and say, okay, let's go all in. But I think they have to, think to be aggressive, but not reckless, and say, okay, let's try to get a starter. Let's try to get some bullpen help. Which all 3 teams could use. Two of those teams should make the playoffs. I think the Reds are short. I mean, the Reds realistically a year away anyway. I think Arizona thought the same thing. They were a year away until things played so well for them in the first half. But that being said, I don't see them giving anyway top draft picks and like that for them. I just think they'll say, okay, we got some excess here, some surplus. Let's get a starter. But let's don't do something stupid because in 2024 is a real opportunity.
I got about 45 seconds here. Is this Baltimore thing for real? Are they a contender to win a World Series this year? And if that's the case, what do they do at the deadline? They've got tons of prospects that they can obviously part ways with if they want to go that route. Or do they, again, like so many teams, just stay the course?
I think they'll do like the Diamondbacks and Reds. I think they'll be aggressive. But they went through a big, painful rebuild. I mean, we lose 110 games a year. They, did a carbon copy of what the Astros did. So last year, they gave up at the deadline. They traded away guys when they could have made the playoffs. This year, I think they got to make moves. I'm not sure they're good enough to get to the World Series, but I never thought they'd be right behind, Tampa Bay Rays. They could win this division.
They really could. It's amazing. Bob Nightingale, check out his work. USA Today, senior MLB writer. Good to catch up with you, my friend. Enjoy the games. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Look forward to it. Thank you, Jason.
Don't know what the record is for runs in a night, but we now have 12 teams. My math was off adding before. 12 teams tonight are in double figures in Major League Baseball. And I'll do you one better than that. 199 runs have been scored today in Major League Baseball. We're coming back to wrap it up. $199 runs scored tonight. And that's insane. Carlos Correa hit a bomb to make it 10-3 Twins. Something's going on with our connection. Could hear it like cutting in and out. I don't know. No, I'm here, but like right now I'm hearing it. It's the internet. Let me log off and log back on real fast. All right. Well, that's just great. Hey, base hit. 2 out base hit.
Last call. Last call. Last call. Last call.
It's a final in Seattle. where the Twins beat the Mariners 10-3. That 10th run, courtesy of a Carlos Correa home run in the top of the 9th. The 199th run scored in Major League Baseball today. 12 teams in double figures tonight in Major League Baseball. How about that? 12 teams score in double figures. There's got to be some records that have been set today in baseball. I'm sure the folks at ESPN will find out, and we'll find it out ourselves. But the Patrons going home very unhappy in Seattle. They are now a 500 team on the air, if I'm not mistaken. All right, without any further ado,
Last call.
there you go.
Last call.
Yeah, I heard you the first.
call.
I heard you the first time. It's last call. We get it. Last call here on the show, and last call tonight. Oh, they even dimmed the lights for us. I like it. Last call tonight belongs to the St. Louis Cardinals. It's been a dreadful season for the Cardinals. Tonight, not so much, and they spoiled the hopes of the Miami Marlins in the process. Take a listen.
Nolan Arenado's last walk-off hit. Well, it's been a while. How about one right here? One ball, no strike, swing drive, deep left field. That ball is gone. He can jog home.
Time to bounce, as they used to say. Wow, he smashed that.
They had to face Arenado, and he clobbered one.
How about this, Chip? Home run number 21, RBI number 69.
Boy, he's having a heck of a year for a terrible Cardinals team. And very rightly, that is your
Last call.
Thank you. Here on the Cash In. I think that's a new little feature we'll do on the show every night. Nolan Arenado. Could be available at the trade deadline, too. Could be available. St. Louis, 42-53, 10.5 games out on the wild card. But say this. Let me tell you. The Angels right now, with these 2 wins, as crazy as this sounds, they're making things very difficult for themselves when it comes to Ohtani. Because I'm going to tell you, if they're somewhere in limbo at the trade deadline, and let's say they're a couple of games out of the wild card, there's no way in hell Artie Moreno is going to trade that guy. And if he don't trade him, and then you miss out on the playoffs, it's the absolute worst case scenario because he's leaving and you didn't make the playoffs. Now, you could say if you're Artie Moreno from the bottom line standpoint, hey, we made, all this money at the gate and, I got my sponsorship money and all those things are great. But at the end of the day, if you get nothing for Ohtani and you don't make the playoffs, it's just close down the franchise. Seriously, just close down the franchise. What do you even bother for anymore? With the win tonight, they're only 4.5 out for the third wild card. And even more important than that, there's only 2 teams ahead of them to get to the third wild card. And that's the Yankees, who are 2.5 now out of the wild card, and Boston, who's a game and a half out of the wild card. Boy, Boston being a game and a half out of the wild card is just wild. 51-45. They're going to obliterate their number in Vegas at the pace they're going right now. Unless they really fall apart down the stretch, they're going to obliterate that number, which I think was, Dave in Connecticut would know, it was either 73.5 or 77.5. I can't remember. Either way, they're going to obliterate that number. But it really starts to get interesting now when you look at the wild card. Because all these teams struggle. I mean, look, Toronto lost tonight. Houston lost. Toronto's won 8 of 10. They're playing well. Houston 5-5 in their last 10. The Yankees have lost 8 of 10. Angels have lost 7 of 10. I mean, Seattle's playing terrible right now, and they're still only 4.5 out of the wild card. Thank you, Dave in Connecticut. 77 and a half. No, I mean, look, Tampa Bay's lost 7 of 10. Texas is back on the right track. They've won 5 in a row. Yeah, but I think they'll get healthy at the right time. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to look this up real fast, what their number is in Vegas, because I'll bet you can get them at a really good price right now. Yes, I'll bet you could get them at a really good price right now, given their struggles and the injuries and all that. And I'm sure Vegas is accounting for some of those injuries when you look at the futures. But let me look right now. World Series right now, Houston is, where are they? They're still the fifth. They're tied for the fourth best odds at plus 950, which really just shows you how much respect Vegas has for them. Yes, to win the World Series. American League, they're plus 430 to be the American League champions, and I would put money on that. No, they're the Rays are plus 210. Houston and Texas are plus 430. Toronto is plus 900. And I'll tell you the other one I would go throw money on is Baltimore at plus 900. Plus 900 on a team that's done what they have through the first, 90 some odd games of the season. I know, talking about what they've done tonight again, what they've done the last 2 days against the Dodgers. The record is what the record is, though. I mean, we could sit here and try and microanalyze 2 games. The reality is, through 90 games, that wasn't a glitch, by the way. That was me. It sounded like it could have been the internet connection. Yeah. Through 94 games, they have 57 wins. They're 20 games over 500. They're one of only 3 teams with a winning percentage over 600. 3 teams. Yes. Can make moves, though. It is. Yeah, I'm not. I don't disagree, but if the price is right, yeah, especially in an AL forget maybe not necessarily the World Series bet at plus 900, but at plus 430 to win the AL. Do you believe steadfastly in any of those teams in the AL? If you don't, then you put the money on the Astros at plus 430. I don't think the Rays have been a 500 baseball team or worse since their, basically their first 25, 30 games of the year. So I'll be honest with you. I don't think the Rays are going to the World Series. I would bet anybody that the Rays are not even winning the American League, let alone winning the World Series this year. I'm not buying on the Rays at all. I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, especially when it comes to the pitching. I mean, they got some great bats. Rosarena, Franco is having a nice year, but I'm not buying them. It's going to do it for us tonight. It's a fast 3 hours. Brian McDonald, fun working with you for one day this week anyway. I'll see you next week. I'm Jason Page. Back with you on Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. The Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Have a good night. Bye. Thank you, sir. Okay. Is it going to be on in this break? No? All right. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye. Does it for us on the video side as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I will catch you all back here 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Wow, Rafael Nadal is even in one of these Subway commercials. I didn't know that. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, SportsMap Radio, the SportsMap Radio app. See you on Wednesday. Have yourself a great night.